if you ever want to go back and watch this.
Okay.
So with audiences, what I do is I always start broad. And I always only test location and ages. So at first, I will set my first ad to be, say, 25 to 35. But you never want to go over that 15-year span. So if you go 22 to 37, that's just fine. But never go like 20 to 45. Like that's too broad, right? You want, you know, both of you probably know that you're going to be in between, you know, 25 to 40. Somewhere in there. Like my perfect audience is literally 23 to 28. I have found. No, go ahead, hon.
Okay. No, I think when I first was running this first ad or whatever, I had did it broad and it was like from 25 to like 44 or whatever.
Yeah.
So then I changed it and I just posted one from like 24 to 34 and then 35 to 44. Can I run two ads that same way and just test it differently?
Yeah, that's where I'm getting to. So
at what point is kind of where, what point would you say, okay, this isn't working? Like what results would you be needing to look at?
Sure.
To tell you, okay, that's
yeah, working. I'm going to screen share. First, I'm just going to give a couple. Okay, so Carolee, can you throw me a couple questions in the chat? You're just cutting in a little bit too in and much. Like I'm getting what you're saying, the gist, but it's just like too in and out. So throw me down your three or whatever, your biggest questions for tonight. I'm going to touch big on audience and how to split test that in the beginning to really narrow down your demographics and your ages. And then from there, you guys will get the idea of how to test interest later down the road. But for now, I would, like, even for myself, I never test interest, ever, even to this day. I don't test interest. I don't like interest. I feel like they narrow me down too much. And how I advertise is very broad. I'm a mom. I love outdoor sports. I love all of the things. I just want to help people. So for me, I don't use interest. But for somebody like Kayla Delergy and Sean and Melissa Malone, that's all they use is interest.
Right. Yeah.
So in the training, yes, they're definitely showing you that, guys, that stuff. But for me, the way I relate to people is through my messaging and through my message and through my page. And I relate to them in a way that I gain a trusting audience. And I think the same goes for you, Kate. And I mainly because like Kate's had the luxury of being with me since day one. So she's pretty much done everything kind of the way I've done it, but plus more. Like I always learn more from every single one of you. And that's the glory and the awesomeness of new people coming in because you guys have a fresh outlook on it. And I literally will take everything that you guys say and try and implement it into what I'm doing to see if it works for other people as well. Because right. I never know, right? Mm-hmm. So the difference between a conversion and a post engagement, do both of you know what that is? No? So you just did it just for shits and giggles?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was just watching the videos and like doing it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. What's the word?
From what I understand, conversions ads like cost more to
conversion is like more automated.
An ad or whatever.
Yeah. So conversion
so
is
you're not
yeah.
So if you're comfortable with speaking to people, a post engagement is where you're going to start engaging with people because they're going to comment more info on your ads. So you're going to reach out and speak to them. And that's where you're going to have to really hone in on your messaging skills of what you're going to say and how you're going to take control of the conversation so that they're not backing you into a corner and then you're totally lost and you can't get anywhere with it.
So how do you get better at that if you're really shitty at it to begin with?
You just keep doing it.
You keep doing it. You keep doing it and you ask us for sort of like what we use or how we go about it. Actually, I will try to find the link for you guys for one of Brandon's what was it? It was an old video he did on ads. Oh, and yeah. It was one of the most powerful ones for me that changed the game for me on how I learned to speak to people. And when I got confident enough to be like, let's just get on a phone call, because sometimes messaging back and forth is a pain in the ass. It takes a lot of time. he just gives you a lot of good ways and the confidence to know that you are offering these people an opportunity, that you're not saying, thank you for coming to my page and you know, sort of giving them the upper hand, because this is, you hold the ball in your court and you want to keep the conversation where you're in the lead and you are making the calls, right? Because otherwise they just start asking you all these random questions that they don't even know that they need the answers to, because they haven't gone through the training.
Yeah, that's not them.
Yeah, they're not sure. Like, they need to have some sort of ground to stand on before they can start asking these questions. So I'm gonna write down, I'll try and find that video and drop you guys the link, because it's one of the most important ones that changed for me, and maybe it would do the same for you. But yeah, the post engagement is where you're going to really be talking back and forth with people. And I find that it's a lot less expensive to run until you at least have your audience a little more dialed in to who you know is effective for you. The conversion is awesome because people just jump right into a webinar and you don't really necessarily have to speak to them. But it doesn't close the sale, and it leaves you in the dark a lot of the time as well, right? So if you get really comfortable with messaging and talking to people, you can still direct them to the webinar. If you feel like the conversation isn't going as well as you thought, be like, hey, well, here's some more information, go check out my webinar. Plus, you want to be able to get these people coded to you as soon as possible, so that if you know they click on your link and then they end up going to somebody else, they're under your name to begin with, right?
100%. Because even if, like Kate said, the conversation isn't going out how it looks, even if they're still thinking about it, and that's still going to be a thought in their head through the next couple weeks. Like, what if this is possible? And then they see someone else's ad and you didn't get them coded, and they're like, they don't even talk to the person, they just click on the link and register because they're like, oh, this is what this chick was talking about. And they think they're coming under you, and it's not you. And we have had a couple issues in the last couple weeks about this, and it's not an easy subject to deal with. So what I do, no matter even if the conversation went exactly how it was planned, and they're say they're going to pay on payday, like a lot of people say, or I'm going to pay in a week, or I'm going to pay tomorrow. I'm saying that's fine, but I'm going to still send you the link to my webinar just to educate yourself as much as possible before you become one of my teammates. I make it mandatory.
Right.
Even if the conversation went as I wanted it to, because now as soon as they put their email into that registry for the webinar, I have them coded to me for the next 6 months. So if that thought ever pops in their head and they go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm clicking that link and registering, and then they buy in after the webinar, I know they're still mine.
Right.
100%, right? So the conversions, I actually really like conversions, and 90% of my conversions turn into a post engagement. But Kate is also 100% right. If you don't know your audience, it's really hard to hone in on a conversion.
It can get really expensive running a conversion if you don't know what you're doing.
No.
So, I mean, maybe it was just the way that we were trained,
100%,
was to like engage with these people and speak to them and learn your messaging skills so that you're getting more confident with what you're talking about and what you're offering people, so you're not just kind of going out blind in the dark, because it's going to get to the point where
That's how I feel right now, really. Like,
you'll get there. It's a learning process. It's a huge learning curve for most of us, right?
no, exactly.
And like, you know, you learn so much even as you start bringing people in. Your job doesn't end at making a sale, right? Then you have all these new people that come in and you have to help them, right? And so you can only do as much as you have the knowledge to help them with. And so we're all in it together, right? We're all learning together. We're all growing, bouncing ideas. There's no right or wrong way to do things. I mean, there's definitely more efficient ways, but there's, you know, it's a lot of trial and error and testing, and your own creativity. And, you know, what works for one person may not work for the other. So they're all just kind of like general guidelines to kind of keep you sort of heading in the right direction, but get creative with it and like listen to people and follow the people that have the success that you want, right? Because that's what's really important, is like, try not to just get stuck in one thought process of like, okay, I'm not understanding this, or this is frustrating. Just keep moving forward, right? And the biggest thing that I have also learned is you're going to have to make a shit ton of ads, and you can't fall in love with them. You're going to be like, yeah, this is my ad. It kicks ass. It's going to be the one that converts the best, and it goes to shit. And you're like, all you got to do, scratch it, start fresh. Like, don't give up, right? Like, you get so, you're like, oh my God, this picture's so good, and my write-up's amazing, and then nobody likes it, and you're like,
But even that, you don't have to necessarily start fresh. If you think your write-up's amazing and your video ad is amazing, maybe they don't mesh together.
or change the photo. Maybe it's not an eye-catching photo, or
Yeah,
the
100%.
headline is not right for it, or something. It could be just a tiny little tweak.
Tiny little tweak. And that's when split cut, when I noticed, like, I've actually had a lot of people in the community message me over the last week because I kind of went through a huge, went through my friend requests and liked them all. I was like, fine, okay, fine, you can all be my friend. But then I had like 100 messages from all these people in the community. And they're like, I've been split testing and doing all these things and nothing's working for me. And I said, are you actually split testing, or are you creating a new ad every single time?
Right.
Because a lot of people think, oh, this isn't working, I'll change the whole thing. That's not called split testing. You are literally starting at level 1 every single time you do that. You work with what you have at the time and you tweak it until you get some results. And then you tweak it more until you get on the right path that takes you to that converting ad. Whether it be changing a little bit of your ads, when we say ad set, you guys, we're talking about the written part at the top. I know it took me a while to figure out what that meant. I'm like, what is everybody talking about ad set? Because in the back office, the ad set is the audience. So I was all really fucked up. Or the ad copy, sorry.
You like
You know what I'm talking about.
coffee.
So the ad copy is the written part, and it can be as simple as changing one little sentence. Like for me, I was running a conversion last week. Well, I guess for the last 4 weeks, and it changed literally into such a big post engagement on its own. I had more messages than opt-ins, and literally last night, or I guess it was today, I was like, you know what, I'm going to take out the part that says message me, because I just can't keep up. And instantly overnight, it went back into, you know, a conversion, and people are just opting in without talking to me. And I'm like, whew, thank goodness, because my brain was hurting. Like I couldn't message people anymore. It was just so much. So literally it could be a tweak of one sentence.
So for either of you, are you both running ads at this point?
Ashley's running one of each.
Okay. And they got approved?
Yeah, both
So
of them.
far?
I had to, well, I realized I posted that in our group yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, maybe I said the wrong thing. So I just edited a couple words after the post was already approved, and then it had to get reapproved, but it got approved again. So
Okay.
That's awesome.
Good.
And then I guess one of the biggest things to do is, I don't know if you've heard the term yet, but we call it seasoning. So you probably see a lot of us doing it. When we make an ad, we drop it in the To Be Free chat, and we get all our little homies to go in and just hit the like button and put comments, because every time somebody comments or likes or puts an emoji, it ups the algorithm for your post, so it sends it out to more people, and it gives it a higher relevancy score, so Facebook realizes that it's a real thing and it's not just a scam artist or like a computer bot making something, right? So we're always, make sure you're always even liking your own post. I know it seems kind of like silly to do it, but it counts as like a point, you know what I mean?
It doesn't matter if you liked it or your personal profile liked it. Like I'll go. I know, she's being a dork. We have a teammate. I'm right up on the chair behind me. Yeah, like Kate's 100%. And not only your ads have all the algorithm and a relevancy score, it's your page. It's every single post you make. So make sure the stuff you're posting to your page that you would even engage you. Because what you're looking for is an audience that loves and trusts you. So if you're not engaged by your posts, why the hell would they be?
Right.
Okay. And the biggest thing that I see a lot of new people do is they're using not high quality photos. They're using a lot of like, look at other people's pages. Look at the ones that are actually doing really good. Go look at Kate's page. Her page is beautiful, right? I have a couple pages. You know, there's lots of people in the community that you could look at and model. But make sure that's still your own. Like a lot of people get too carried away with the motivational posts. Yeah, I love the motivational posts. I do them all the time. Like I schedule these things. But you also need to be putting in there something that's more engaging than a motivational post. They're a good filler, but you need to have other videos and other little clips
And
of you.
people like personal shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, they like to go in and
Well,
see.
they're wanting to buy from you. So in reality, they have to.
Totally. And like, it comes down to like kind of what we're working on right now for us is, and you should implement it now, even at the beginning, is try to sort of brand yourself, even if you have your own hashtag or you have your own, if you can come up with some sort of logo for whatever your marketing name is, or just something that's really consistent that you put maybe on every picture or as a sign off at the bottom of all your posts, just to like
how I have XOXO Mama Cat, and when I'm on Instagram, my hashtag's Mama Cat. Oh,
I think
nobody.
I've seen on Kaylee Guns, she's got like that KG or whatever, like her little brand on there.
yeah, that's something you can totally be working on
And
to
like
implement as
Kayla
well.
Delargy is picture perfect lifestyle or something. That's their branding between her and Brandon. Mine's Life After Marketing, because even my YouTube channel is called that, right? Like once you get going, you can really implement more levels of social media platform once you master Facebook.
Are you guys on Instagram?
No, I'm
I
not.
have Instagram, but I'm not really on it.
Okay, well, I'm just going to tell you that is the best way to get organic leads, and that's where I got my very first sale before I even paid Facebook to do anything. So I would really start upping your Instagram usage, and one of the key things that I did is you want to up your Instagram following. So Google
Instagram.
Instagram for sure. It will gain you more followers, but one of my recent things that I've done is started Googling the most popular hashtags. And I know that it's like, if you're not into Instagram, it kind of sounds stupid, but you get the most searched hashtags and attach those to your photos, and that's where you're going to get the most followers and likes. And then every Monday and Wednesday you can drop a, hey, here's my link where you want to know how we're doing it.
Thursday.
And what
How
did I
long
say?
have you been doing
What did
this
I
for, Caitlin?
What did I say?
She said hump day.
Did I? You know what I mean. Anyhow, yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, yeah.
No!
Thursdays. Oh,
I
you guys
swear
know
to
that.
goodness, I tried to train her. I tried.
Yeah. It's a long day, girls.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, no, you should be part team too.
Yeah.
Kick it out here. Okay, so let's get back to ads. You guys want to talk about columns? I can go over all that. We're recording, so you guys can always watch this again. I'll post on my YouTube channel and share it to the M Series support group. So I should all be in that group, right? And you should all be getting my little training videos that I post every other day. Yeah? Okay, cool. So that will be one of these. Oh, hello, Lila. Hello, Lulu. Oh, yeah, get out of here. Okay, I'm going to share screen now. Now, hopefully I don't have any dirty things opened on my internet browser. Just kidding. Let's see. Oh, yeah, good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I actually just cleared out a lot of my stuff. And don't see this $31 per lead. Yeah, that's because my opt-ins went to crap and all I get is comments now. So it's actually, well, I'm pretty sure they've gone through that part of the training where it says aim for $5 and under per lead.
Yes, for your conversions or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, even though it says $31, this ad is actually like super converting for me because I actually get like probably 10 to 25 more infos a day. So for me, I count those as leads as well. So because I know that I could probably close them, right? With my way I message. So don't be scared that Kat doesn't know what she's doing. I do. I just measure it out differently. Okay, so what we're gonna do first, I'm just gonna move this little bar here. Can I move it up here? No, that'll work. Okay, so first we're gonna go do the columns because that's like the most simplest thing to go into and change to be what you want to see, okay? So go in here, you click this button right here. Everybody can see what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can actually pick through all these and see what each one of these has. They might actually have the things that you're looking for. So like if I was running engagement posts, you could click this and it would show you how many people are taking action, you know, your post reactions, and every one of these little eyes gives you information on what these tabs mean. And what, so this one has 29 posts engaged. See, 29 comments just in the last, 4 days. It's kind of slow. That's why I started all these new ads to see my stuff went to poop. But anyway, post shares, link clicks. So that's how many people have actually clicked my webinar link, right? 36, plus I've had 29 comments. So for my $220, I'm actually not doing too bad. I got like 50 people engaging with me, right? But it's not doing the best. So I am going to change it. I just have to find one that works. But anyway, if you go down here to customize columns and click on this, this is probably one of the simplest. Lila, can you get off my table, yo? You would have. Good God. I just got to move this bar too. Such a shit. Okay, I'm just gonna move that bar down. I know you guys can't see that. Okay, so what the hell? There we go. Okay, so up here you can search if you're looking for something specific. Say you were looking for comment cost. Yeah, she's really distracting. Cost per post comment. So I could click that in and add that, and it would come over here. So now in my engagement column section, now this is all added, and I can add cost per comment, and I can actually see how much it's costing me per each comment. So I'm just going to go apply, and you can do that with anything. So depends on what kind of ads you're running. So in here, it should be at the end now, cost per. So now I'm getting $7 leads. Still not bad. I'm still making money at that, right? But it's still not good enough for Mama Cat. So I'm probably going to shut that ad down, but that's okay. That's why I got these 2 new ones running. But yeah, so you can go in here and customize literally anything that you want. There's probably 100 extra tabs that you could add in, maybe even more. Okay, why is it not working? My computer's slow. Be better than Kate, do these things.
I don't do that.
So you can go in here and you can do link clicks. You can do unique link clicks. All of these things are here for you. Button clicks, depending on what you have on your ad, right? So you can go cost per click, so CPC, that's probably something you did learn about in the training. You can have that added in there. I never really look at that because I always get a lot of comments. So you can go here and you can see when people actually, you can actually look up everything. Your Pixel is so smart that it knows when people have started typing in their credit card, whether they've initiated the checkout, whether they've actually pressed the buy now button, and whether they've become a $99 buyer. It can track every movement that person makes through that entire process. Crazy, hey?
That is
All the way to GAZ. It can track it if you want it to. You can even see how many people are actually just looking at your landing page, because even that, people that are looking at it, which this shows actually in your back office of GAZ too. My God, my dogs are being super distracting. GAZ actually shows you this. So if you wanted to test out different landing pages in the back, I know if any of you have, either of you have looked in the back office, there's like about 8 landing pages that you can pick from. Now, you just have to be careful. The ones that do not say Phoenix, those are actually GAZ webinars, and they're completely different than the ones, say, that you guys may have watched. Okay. If you watched one. Some people don't watch them and they just do that. So they are a completely different webinar. And sometimes when we put our people through the other webinars, the Global Affiliate Zone, Kate has had this issue where they get sent to a coach on the Global Affiliate side. But don't freak out. We can always transfer it. Michael can always transfer it to himself. Okay? Does that make sense, you guys? No, I don't think so. Am I confusing you guys, or is this okay? Am I getting too far ahead? Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, so go in here and just look, just go through all of these. Like I could spend all day just going through this stuff, but that's how you add it. And if you actually wanted to add, like save as a preset, like save this for future uses, you can click that little button and rename it, and it'll stay in that little column section, so you don't always have to do this. Make sense? Easy?
Yeah, I already have it set up. Like I set it up.
Oh, okay. So what was your question? Was it you that asked about the columns then?
No.
Oh, and
Not
I just mentioned it. I was confused about them because I didn't know if I had set them up properly. But now that I'm looking at it, I think
honestly, there's no improper or proper way.
I guess it's just whatever you
For
want.
everything, there is no improper way. It's whatever works for you and whatever you want to see. So the columns just show you all of the information that your pixel is giving you. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool.
So when you're running an ad, I noticed in the training that Kayla says she tests her ads for about 3 days before she makes any changes to them. Is that kind of a good rule of
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb. The other thing you can do is, so, sorry, I'll get my mouse out again. So see
But
here.
is that just for conversion ad?
No, that's
No,
for everything.
It's just
Or,
takes
like,
time for the algorithm. It takes time for the algorithm to get going, to send it out to people. You can't really, it's like a graph chart, right? Like you can't really base information off of a really small number of people. So giving it 3 days gives it time to get the ball rolling and kind of see what direction it's going to go. Because sometimes, I mean, even for my first post engagement that I ran, I let it go for a lot longer than, because I didn't go in and look at any of this computer stuff. I let it go for a lot longer, and it didn't do anything for the first week, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 there's 200 messages on there, and you know, if I would have shut it off, I would have maybe missed that. So it's kind of just like, watch your charts and see if it's actively climbing, or if it like climbed one day and then it just dropped and then it's done, like a dead ad, right?
Yeah, I'll show you how to look at charts too.
Okay, maybe we haven't got that far yet.
No, that's okay. That's
Okay.
a good point, Kate, because a
Yeah.
lot of people look at them for
Well, I had seen that too when I ran my first engagement ad or whatever. Like it was climb, and then it kind of just went and then slowly came down, and then it wasn't doing anything. So then I just shut that one off and did it.
Well,
Yeah,
and
but
also,
then I realized, okay, maybe I should do split testing, right?
but also be aware that like certain days of the week are a lot better. Like for both Kat and I, for some reason, Mondays are our jam, and
Oh,
that's our shit rises on Mondays. And then close to the weekend, people are like, "We're going drinking. It's the weekend. We don't give a shit about creating an online business." And so that your ads slow right down. Or like, say it's a special occasion, Thanksgiving weekend coming up. People are like with their families, so you're gonna notice it starts to decline a little bit. But back by Tuesday morning, everyone hates their lives and they want to quit their jobs. They're back at it, and it's climbing again, right?
You just have to watch your. So as Kate says, for weird enough, me and Kate,
Yes,
both of
yeah.
us, Monday is our jam. Yes. So for me, I know if I want to split test an ad, I have to start it on Sunday night, and I have to have it out so that on Monday I get my full data
Mhm.
from Monday, and then by Tuesday I see if it continues. And then I pretty much know for myself, just because I've ran so many ads that way, that I know for myself by Tuesday, I'll know what's going down. Like I kind of screwed up and started this ad today, only because my other one went to crap, and I'm like, well, now I need to figure out something new. And I was really split testing content more than anything, because I have no idea what I want to run right now. I've kind of ran everything dry for myself from the last couple months, and I'm kind of starting from ground zero like you guys. So I'm just testing content.
I wanted to just touch on, notice how like really nicely set up her page is, that you can read what each ad is, so she can split test most effectively, or go in and change things, and she knows exactly what ad it is. Sometimes you'll get on here and people, like, if you're not running something and it's just get rid of it, right?
Like, like I should have already gotten rid of these.
If it's
two.
not delivered, yeah, you know what I mean? But like you can see, like some people will have maybe like, well, okay, maybe
what,
today's not the best
what
day
the
to-
heck? It's, they all say deleted, but they're still there. I don't
Okay.
know. My
Anyway.
computer's not working. Normally, I
I'm
have.
gonna be right back.
I just have what's running.
I just found that for myself, like I would have a bunch of dead ads and stuff, and I would get lost and confused. So try to make your
sorry.
oh, it's not my finger, it's the mouse. Just try to keep it clean in there so that you have a better idea of what you're working with. If you want to go in and change things.
Okay, so here's a good way to look at your. So I'm actually going to do September, because September is when I had a really good converting ad, and I'm just going to show you kind of how to watch to see where your data is coming from and where I found that ad. So as you can see, the beginning of the month I was split testing a lot of things, and I was kind of going up and down and trying to figure out what was working for me. And then all of the sudden I found this ad that went, and now I have 29 link clicks by September 17th, and I kind of stayed fairly consistent through the rest of the month, right? You can kind of watch that, and you can see each one of these peaks is probably my Monday, right? So I am dropping, but over the amount of literally one day, and then I'm picking back up again, and I'm kind of continuing to do that. And then you can see that my ad was starting to crap out by September 30th and October 1st. Oh yeah, I spend a lot. You guys don't look at my ad spend. Yeah. Sorry guys.
That's over a long time though.
Well, that was over 30 days, yeah. For me, dude, when I first started, we had $100 ad spend. It's possible. And Michael made a $15,000 month with $100 ad spend. It is possible. Just because I spent that big amount of money is also because I was split testing a bunch of stuff for the team to learn. Like I learned about that stuff that you guys probably seen me post some stuff on. That
$800.
Yeah, I didn't spend the whole $800, but I risked it, right? Like I went out and I did all this testing because I knew I could afford it for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be scared about my ad spend. As you make more money and do all these things, you're going to want to increase.
Yeah, my ad spend was really, really small. And after the event, that was the one big thing that I realized is that, no, I didn't make this money so that I can go out and buy all the nice things. I made this money so that I can put it back into my ads because it's going to 10x what I'm already doing, right? So,
So this is up until today right now. So you can see I'm kind of having some inconsistency here with my link clicks, but for me, and like that's tonight, it's still good. But for me, I want to get back up to those peaks every Monday, right? Like I'm not really having this consistent flow anymore. And it's kind of looking pretty pyramidy.
You're running a post engagement. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, try
You're
one more
running
time.
Yeah. If you run a post engagement and you put your link in there as well, is that okay too?
100%.
Like, okay. I was just wondering if
you're
you should
cutting
do
in and
both
out,
or
but
just,
I'm gonna
does it
touch on
matter
that.
or what?
You're cutting in and out pretty bad, but I'm going to touch on that. So we're just going to run through one, and I'm going to show you how I would run a post engagement, and then I'm going to show you how my conversions look too. Okay? Does that work for everybody? We'll go through this quick because I know it's kind of getting late for you guys. We'll try and be a little quicker because me and Kate like to chit chat a lot. So create campaign. So for engagement here, everybody's probably seen this section. So I might run through a little bit quick out of the basics, but I'm going to go through. So here you have three options, right? Events, responses, page likes, and post engagement. So I always, for this circumstance, I'm going to pick post engagement. And for me, my organized freak, I always name it. So I'm just going to go my new ad, because I think I still have it copied and pasted in my stuff. And then I always write what I'm going to do as my ad set. So I'll go Canada, Australia. That's what I'm running right at this current moment. And right now, because I don't know what is working in Australia yet, it's kind of a new thing for me. I'm going to go a little bit broader than I normally do, because like I said, I normally am 23 to 28 in Canada, and that's all I can really target. But because I'm also targeting Australia this time, I'm going to do 22 to 32. Just broaden that a little bit more and give myself a little bit more space.
See what the data is.
See what the data is, and then go from there. Exactly, Kate. Good job. She's so smart.
Not the hat back.
Oh, normally I copy and paste what I wrote.
Your dog behind me.
Normally I copy and paste what I wrote in the last little section, especially because she's being really sucky tit. Okay. I don't know why my computer's being so slow. Maybe we should have used Kate's. Australia. And I just write it again so that when I'm looking through all of my tabs, I know exactly what I'm looking at. Because I'll just give an example. As I always use, Mike Martin's. His is a gong show. I don't know how to tell what ad apart. And the only way he knows how is to open every single one and look. And I'm like, that is too much of a waste of time. I don't got time to do that. I want to look at the ad set name and know what I'm looking at, right? And you have to learn to value your time enough to take the extra 2 seconds to rename some stuff for yourself. So when we were talking about audiences before, you can go here and use save audiences. Like they were probably showing you how to create all of them. I know I have probably about 3 here that I use continuously, but I'm kind of opening up to Australia in the last little bit. So, oh, I don't know what I just did. That's not really what I wanted to do. Yeah, I'm just going to create a new one so you guys can see. I don't want to use one of those. Maybe. My computer's so slow. Yeah, we're going to skip the lookalike because you can do that too, but you won't know what that is. And you won't have enough data for that anyway. So Australia. No, not Austin. Come on, computer. You know you want to work. So you can see now I went up to almost 40 million people. Now that's pretty broad. We don't really want that broad. So we have to go back down. And remember we said 22 to 32. So we go over here. Whoops. I don't know what's going on. 22. Maybe. Okay.
We're in.
Okay, we're in. Here. And 32. Yep. And I'm sure you guys have been through this process because you both said you're running ads, so that's cool. I'll try not to take it's not meaning to be this slow, it's my computer. And
we're
just
already down to 11 million.
yeah, we're already down to 11 million, so that's awesome. And I'm gonna make sure I put English all in there. Because honestly, there could be some people traveling through Canada, just moved to Canada, all these things that they don't know how to speak my language and I don't know how to speak theirs. So there's no point in even targeting them. So now I'm down to 10 million. And honestly, for me, when I'm split testing, that's a perfect number for me. Anywhere between 5 and 10. I know they say in the training, keep it around, I think they say 2 or 1 even, I don't remember, but it's quite low. And for me, I like to get to that point, but I need to know what works best for me before I get to that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you? Totes? Okay. Moving on. So here is where you would put in interest. But for me, at this point, I don't want any interest because I don't know what works for me. I don't know what my branding is going to look like. And honestly, the only time me, myself, and I use target interest is when I'm doing my branding post that has nothing to do with sales. Like nothing to do with the webinar, nothing to do with anything. It's just finding people who like the same stuff as me.
Right.
So, yeah, we don't care. We always.
That makes it a lot more simple.
Is it a lot more simple? Oh, sweet. Okay. So in here, it's just making it a lot more simple. So that's exactly what our main goal for tonight was to make things more simple for you guys. So make sure you go in here and edit placements every single time. This will bring the cost of your ad way down. Okay. It always gives you that little warning that says, removing the placements will lower your conversions. Yeah, but I'm not paying as much. So I always take out Instagram, mainly because most of my videos are too long. I think Kate uses them.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Because you don't have hashtags on there. So I tried it, and it is going to run your ads through Instagram, but it doesn't reach anybody because it doesn't pick up on the hashtag. So it's really, there's no point. You might as well just run your own free ad with lots of hashtags on Instagram and get people that way.
No. If you guys want any advice on Instagram, hit up this girl and do like some Instagram training, because honestly, I have learned everything I need to know about Instagram from her. And that's what I mean. Any new person coming into here can teach somebody something new, because I knew nothing about Instagram. I posted like once in a while and I was like, hell yeah, hashtag entrepreneur. That doesn't get you anybody that you actually want. It gets you lots of people like you. You know what I mean? But anyway, off topic. So we're going to take out all.
You didn't tell them where you clicked in here, but. So she took out all the Instagram.
Stop touching my touch screen.
Sorry.
No. I got a touch screen TV computer, and Kate's always tip tapping on it. Okay, so I went here and I go through all of the placements and literally remove everything except for feeds. So this one right here. Okay, that's the only one that I almost ever run. Now it also brought my audience size down a little bit, another 300,000, right? Now I'm down to 9.7 mil. So that's fine. So none of these are clicked off except for newsfeed. So that's awesome. And another thing to keep in mind, if you're running, Lila, Get off my counter. I don't know how this big ass dog thinks she can sit on the counter. If you're running a video of any sort, you are going to want to make sure Facebook is only sending it to people when they are connected to Wi-Fi. Because you cannot tell me that you're going to watch a 3-minute long video at the grocery store when you don't have Wi-Fi.
Because you're going to rack up your data. So people.
Okay, fair enough.
Does that make sense? So this is going to also bring your costs down too, because it's not getting sent out to people that are only going to watch 5 seconds of it and say, oh, we'll watch that later. But then it doesn't get sent to them later, so they never get it again. So this way, it's only getting sent to people with Wi-Fi. You want to change your budget always, 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 especially when you're not sure of how the ad's going to run.
There we go.
Okay.
$5.
Okay. Yeah. So I always run them to set continuously because I find when you have a start and end date, it can kind of disrupt the algorithm, especially if you forget about it and it ends and you had actually a really good ad and it ends and then you have to try and restart it because now your algorithm is pooped and you have to start from ground zero again. So I always say run continuously. And then you can always have the choice to shut it off. You have 100% control. So don't be scared of spending the money because you have 100% control. And even when it says it's going to spend $5 a day, that's only a limit. Facebook might only spend $3 a day, depending on how it is converting, on how much money it's actually spending.
If it's spending $5, then you're
That's
converting really
awesome.
well.
Yeah.
Right? If it's not, you're saving money, but you're also not converting, which means you're not going to be making money. So you want to look at it that way, right?
Yeah, you want to spend the money.
So it comes back to you tenfold, like super fast.
Yeah. The other thing, this is the only time that you will change this, and this is in a post engagement. That's why I wanted to do this one first. This is something that probably because I didn't have the training that you guys have, and you probably already know this, and you're going to be like, Kat, that's stupid. But I didn't change this for the first 6 months of my business, and I wasted so much goddamn money because they forgot. Oh my God, I was so mad when I found this out. When you get charged, instead of impressions on a post engagement, you change this to be every post engagement. And you guys have probably seen this in the back. Huh?
I didn't know that.
Okay. I'm not the only one that did miss that. Okay, cool. Not that that's a good thing, but I'm glad I touched on it.
In the training, when it doesn't show you how to just do post engagement, it just shows you how to do conversion.
Yeah.
So it's
So
not
with
actually
post engagement, yes, this is a huge, huge, huge thing. Because if you are paying for impression, like a conversion would, you are paying for everybody that sees your ad, touches your ad, looks at your ad. This way,
Tire kickers.
This way, if you're looking for post engagement, you are only going to get charged when people comment. You're only going to get charged when people like it. You're only going to get charged when people share it. Makes sense?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a new feature, one I haven't tried before. Because I haven't run a post engagement. We'll get you the lowest cost. You can set a bid cap. At $5 a day, I wouldn't really worry about this, setting a bid cap. You'll know if you're not getting the comments, it's not working. Really.
Yeah, because that's kind of what you want. So if you're not getting it, then it's shit.
Well, have you gotten any opt-ins? Have you gotten any opt-ins in your back office?
Actually, the first ad that I ran, I got one opt-in.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Good
So
job.
it was good, and then it kind of nothing was happening, so then I shut it off. But I
So
clearly
what
should have had
about
this.
that first ad do you think got them to click your link? When you read through it, what was different from that first ad to the second one?
I don't know. I'd have to go and look.
That's fine. Those are the questions I want you to think of. Because you got one person to click and register, you can do it 1,000 times over. You just have to pinpoint, read it, and figure out what was different. Oh, goodness.
Oh, dear.
All righty. Well, I guess we're running this one. No, I'm kidding. So you can use an existing post. For post engagement, I would recommend using an existing post.
Have you run that as an ad?
Is it awesome?
I think so. I'd click it. I'd be like,
You would click this?
I'd click that for sure.
Well, we can run it. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yes, they changed it. So now with, they've added a whole bunch of new features, and I love that I get to go through this with you guys because I haven't done a post engagement in forever. So with an existing post, before you were never able to add a button. So say add your webinar button, add, so I'll just click it and show you. So you can do a learn more button now, which is fabulous because you know that's the one thing that I hated about post engagements that I never got. Now the only thing with adding a learn more button to your post engagement is it is going to take away from the people that comment because you are giving them an option not to comment. However, what I would do if you wanted to do this is I would run, actually this is fucking brilliant. My brain is on fire right now. I would run one of the identical post, the identical audience, one with the learn more button and one without, and see how many options you get between the two. Because this is quite similar to a conversion, running it this way. But it's a way, post engagements are so much cheaper. So cancel, this is what I would do for the both of you, is I would cancel out those conversions because obviously they're not working, right?
Yeah.
No.
I have no conversions already.
Okay. I would do this. I would do 2 ads at $5 a day. So you're spending $10 a day. As long as you guys are okay with that budget for the next 30 days, you know, you don't even have to. Just find which one converts better and then continue on with that one.
Give it 3 days and then shut the other one off. So
yeah, whatever one's working better. And if you need me to look at it after 3 days, for sure, we'll take a look once you get it all set up over the weekend.
Look at it.
But you know what I would do? Yeah, I'd get it going like tomorrow, give it the weekend to get like the algorithm up. And then by Monday and Tuesday, you're really going to see some traction. And I wouldn't actually, with it being this kind of a weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, I wouldn't actually shut anything off until Tuesday. But I'd get it going and get that algorithm running.
Yeah, it's a strange weekend because it is Thanksgiving. People are going to be like, you know, a little
they
bit
might
distracted.
be more, yeah, but they might be more on their computer because you know how you sit after turkey and you're like, eyes. But anyway, so this is where you would put your domain name. So I'm assuming that you both have bought a domain name. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was just like, maybe not. Maybe we should go over that. So mine's mamacat.com. So that works, right? Learn more. Actually, send. Oh, you can even do the send message. Oh my God, we're getting so excited. Okay, anyway, just do learn more. This is your all new options.
We're nerding out over here.
We're nerding out. You'll laugh when this hits you and it excites you as much as it does us. You'll be like, oh my God, Pat and Kate. But anyway, so now this was never a thing before. We could never do this learn more buttons on posts that were already done. But now look at that.
See, it looks so professional.
It looks way more professional. So yeah, you can go through here and it'll still track it with your pixel. So your pixel, always track with your pixel no matter if it's a post engagement or conversion. The reason for that is the pixel gets smarter every time it's fired. So every time somebody clicks that link, whether or not they have actually registered or not, that pixel just got a whole lot more smarter and it knows what kind of people are going to click on your ads.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the pixel is. It's like a big old brain and it gets bigger and bigger and better every single day. And it's like Pinky in the brain. Your Pinky's your ad. He wants to take over the world, whatever. And the brain is just what gets completely smarter and knows how to do it properly with spending you less money. So as you move forward and as your pixel gets smarter, it'll actually
bring you the right
people for a way less price. But when you're first starting, you're still learning. You're still getting that, your pixel's still learning, not just you. So test lots of things because your pixel will get smarter with lots of things, right? But let stuff run so that it actually, like a little bit, right? Like don't waste your goddamn money. If it's not working, it's not working. But find, if it's not working, tweak something small and see if that helped it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Don't just throw away.
So you say... Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. So you have the call to action learn more button on one. You just don't have a button on the other one at all?
Yeah, that's what I would do with this new button. It's really cool. Nobody's going to have it yet. I bet you anything. None of us have found it.
Because it's pretty much just like
Oh, I really hate that Carolee's internet is sucking.
Don't need
Here you can.
in your pocket or something, right? Like that's the same thing pretty well.
Ashley, did you catch any of that?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, me
Okay.
neither, babe. Maybe type it if it's not too long.
Not sorry.
We caught you yelling. Okay, so if you wanted to create a new one with I'm just going to quickly run through this too. Conversions, everything's going to be quite similar. The only thing that you'll want to watch for, instead of changing when you get charged to post engagement on a conversion, the one thing you're going to want to look for is it'll say 7-day click or 7-day view, or 1-day click or 1-day view. I always do the 1-day click. You'll see it when you go. Pardon?
For both conversion and postman?
No, just
Or
the
no?
conversion. That's the only thing I really watch for on my conversions. And I wasn't going to run over a conversion yet because I think this is a really good idea for both of you.
Yeah.
Is start with this, because this is going to get you the opt-ins without talking to people, but plus still get you the comments at a way cheaper level. So for both of you, because what we want both of you to see this month is 3 new people underneath of you,
Mhm.
because we want you guys to get that bonus.
If you get, then you get the 3 people sales, plus you get $1,500 bonus. Like
Yeah,
that's super
plus
awesome.
you're like 3A.
and
so
then you're
it'll be
making
huge first month.
$16.80 commission every time you make a sale.
And
It's gonna be
imagine a
huge.
$1,500
We
ad
can do
buy.
this, girls. We got this.
Yeah, we got this. And I think this new way of post engagement is going to be really huge. I think it's going to really work for you guys. So if you wanted to create a new ad, you can go through here. Like you obviously, these normal 3 settings, you can pick which one, right? So Kate wants me to use that photo. So let's
It's
go.
not very good quality though.
I know it's not very good quality, but it was taken at night. That's fine. So you can go here and browse library, especially if it's a video. I would always recommend browsing your actual page's library. Actually, I'm just going to do that. Who cares about a photo? Photos are photos. You can't see how many times they've been seen. With videos, it's always better to have a lot of views on your video. So even though you're not creating and you're not using an existing post, you're not carrying over those comments, you're making a ghost ad, you can carry over the views. So I know you guys don't know what a ghost ad is, maybe, or
Well, I tried to squeeze in a little bit, and they were like saying at the training.
A little bit, yeah.
Don't
So
use
have an
those.
idea. So what I use a lot of black ads or ghost ads or whatever you want to name them, because I like to start my comments fresh every time. I like to get brand new data every time. But a lot of people will carry over an existing post and not customize it at all. So with the black post, you can customize it with the same video, right? You can customize every aspect of it, but you're not carrying over any comments or likes that you got originally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but what you can carry over with a video, I'm going to browse library here. So they moved it for the video. And see, so like if I picked my yoga, we love this shit video, or even these ones. These ones have like, oh my God, I have like horse face in that one. Oh my goodness. But any of those videos have like 50,000 views because I've already put a lot of money into them in the past, into different ads, right? And ad sets and ad copies. I've used a ton of different write-ups with them, but I've always taken them from my library on my page, and the views keep accumulating every single time. I'm not carrying over the comments every single time, but I'm bringing up those video views.
And people seem to think, like, oh, people have watched this so many times, it must be of importance, right?
Yeah.
We all do it. It's like, so.
And sometimes the comments don't matter, right? Like for me, I actually find my posts do better when I don't use an existing post, but a lot of people only use existing posts because they need those comments to carry forward. So everything has to be tested. Just because I say something works for me and Kate says something works for her doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you guys. So that's what I always really, really dwell upon when we're talking about any sort of thing, because you always, always, always have to test. I think this will work really good for you guys though, because it's kind of a hybrid between that one with adding the button. It's very much a hybrid. right?
Yeah.
We're going to make it kind of a conversion, but also a post engagement. And the biggest thing on that I'm going to push is your ad copy, your written part at the top is going to have to say something very specific that you want them to comment.
Oh, and I just want to touch, I don't know if you guys know, but Facebook is very sensitive with the word you.
Mhm.
So when you're making your ads, try to get creative in how you word yourself, whether you're bringing it back to I had to make the choice instead of you have to make the choice, or we, or our, or just try to get creative with how you're wording it, because Facebook will flag you and shut you down for something as simple as the word you too many times, because you're directing it at somebody and it goes specifically, right? So that's something really important to keep in the back of your brain when you're writing your ads. Write it out in a rough copy and then proofread it and try and find a way to
That
make.
just makes me think now, oh my God, how many years did I put in them already?
Well, and like sometimes
You already got approved, so
Yeah, you
it
got
must have
approved.
been fine. But
just in the future, be aware that that's something that has, for myself, for most of my ads, as soon as I change the use, I'm approved. But before that, it's like, no, you're forcing it on me, right?
yeah, a big
Get
thing,
late.
like, yeah, it is getting super late, so I'm just gonna finish up here. So big thing, like how I even have the writing in my video. Most people hate their job. It's not. I know you hate your job. You know what I mean? It's big difference there. You're talking to a huge crowd of people. So even if you want to create a whole new post and don't want to use anything that's been on your page before, you can still add the call to action button here. But do one without and do one with, and make sure your ad copy up here says something like register for the webinar below. Here's my link. You can even write it still in the ad copy if you wanted to, but make sure you're very strong in the conviction that you want them to comment, that you want them to message you, that you want them to like and share, because that's how you're going to continue to get the post engagements. And once you get a couple, trust me, people follow suit. They will, whatever the last 3 people wrote, that's what the next 3 people write. And
Yeah,
if
like,
somebody
they'll just start
changes the
making
game,
it up too.
yeah, like you tell them to say I'm ready, and first 3 people say I'm ready, and then someone says, yep, let's go, and then the next 3 people say, yep, let's go. Like, it's ridiculous. We're like sheep. Like, people are ridiculous. They just keep. So, and here again, watch this. If this isn't turned on and you got that button on there, if you don't have that button on there, this isn't necessarily as important. But if you have the link, it is important, right? Because you're not tracking your data. And that's one of the hardest things with, and I always press this before I press confirm, and it'll tell me if anything looks shady, if they're not going to like anything, and then I go confirm, and almost always it gets approved right away.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not going to confirm because I already have a million of those ads running. But yeah, so I hope that this helped. I hope you guys have some ideas to like throw out there over the weekend. I hope we put some clarity and made it simpler for you guys. Yeah, no.
Yeah, did this help?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely
Okay.
helpful.
And like I said, if you get, like Kate said, actually, I didn't even say it, you get stuck on something in the training, fucking move on. You'll come back to it and you'll realize the importance of what that was and how to deal with it.
And like one of the things that I had to remember is the biggest part of our business is creating ads, generating traffic, and making sales. That's all our business comes down to, is that's the most important part. So yes, you can get caught up in the training. You're a student for life with this, and there's no right or wrong. So if you're feeling really stuck or frustrated, just move on, sort of use
Do something that inspires you.
Yeah, and use this type of like little bit of training that we've given you here to at least get your ad out there. You should always be running an ad, because you're not going to make money if you don't have an ad out.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you're like really strong with your organic shit, which we can talk about another time, but you should always be running at least one ad. So just try to, you always have time to go back and do the training, which I'm doing sometimes, but yeah, so don't get frustrated. just keep moving forward. And yeah,
like I said, she's good at organic. She does not turn on her computer.
Yeah, I'm a techno peasant, but I'm learning, and it's a learning curve,
exactly
right?
it,
And every day it's a new thing, and every time you talk to a new person, it just gets easier and it flows. And you'll be in this position speaking to somebody at some point here soon. So
yeah, the moment that you came in here, you became a leader, both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Good. Well, I'm so happy. I know it's like getting late, especially in Alberta, where Carolee is, and she's probably tired. She's traveling all day. So I would love to chat forever, but I just know I always host Zooms too. Always, always, always. Oh, and my battery's
Oh,
gonna die.
we're about to die.
Oh, Lordy, well, quick. Anytime that you want to Zoom, reach out to us. Either one of us. We started a little group chat with all 4 of us in it.
It's our
Please.
girly group chat.
Go ahead.
We're gonna try to figure out a day and time that works best for everybody. And like she said, she records them, and you can always go catch the replay or whatever. But yeah, if you're stuck, just reach out, and we can have a little Zoom whenever you need.
Yeah, I better stop this and
Okay.
stop this
Okay,
recording before my computer dies.
Okay,
So we don't
thank
lose
you.
all this.
So much, you guys. You guys are awesome.
No, it's so nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, love you
And
guys.
bye. Okay, we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
You too.